Yeah, so while the government was trying to claim that I was stealing the people's money to be in the strip club, as if it was like a EBT food stamp, and then they catch me throwing the EBT food stamp money inside the club over here, and then go after like molest and rape females. That one go off on like someone gets scouted by a club, and then someone dance in the club inside their own territory. Uh, uh, yeah, legally, what's up? But they got like police and like undercover squads over here with female units that go off and like check on the strippers to go off and see multiple things around the space. So somewhere inside their own territory where they have the legalized clubs around the space, like the legalist workforce. I don't know. Somehow it's my fault that Cleaners Drive too has like a whole bunch of like Asians from like Indonesia in there. That's like a caste system. I serve them. So like yeah, me the customer over there that's being deceived by the product that's being sold legally under with the help of the government that's selling it to me over here myself. Yeah, apparently has to take responsibility because of the fact that I don't know. I don't. I'm the boss over here that employ these people, and then I know the dirty secret. That's way to like Tony Chafao or Chafuda Tafao. I don't know. I like the Panini Ravioli family over here. What's up? Not them myself, but you get the gist of it. What's up? That Tony Panini Ravioli has like a couple old colonies or like connections overseas. That just so happened to be a port that was related to an old pirate network that was both of the tribes. You know, once you read about the Spanish colonies or like the Queen Espanada over here, or Portugal, or like I don't know, the UK over there. What's up? When they used to go off and like employ black ships from their own federal government to go off and rob other group from like foreign nation that was not them or something. Yeah, they know what the tribes were into more things, especially on the seaports. They were part of the government that go off and like someone do their own thing into like all grimy-ness. So some of that network itself made it right back into Tony Panini Avioli Espanada network over here, into like a sea network that was unique into all wealth and stuff like that, due to the technology and the change of culture that they used to bring, like, you know, females that are exotic, or like teapots and other stuff, and also like no tea bags. Yeah, teabagging not the female myself, not Master Chief or from like Halo myself, but you know the tea bags and the stuff around them. You know they had their own unique economy. That was to a unique dream that people wanted. We're like, ooh, we want this over here and stuff. And then they see the exotic chick over here with a pierced nose or like the chains and stuff, like all that gold. Somewhat dancing for him, yeah, cha 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 cha. I like hear the elephant go like, with his big trunk and some offering special like that. And then eventually they go off and like they send money into the circus and like the acrobats and the gymnasts into more things specifically. And you know, unique economy that be attached behind a seafood industry with unique chefs on unique crews around the space with like a unique technology like navigation and all sorts of stuff that's related to like resources like timber, lumber, I don't know, steroids, all that stuff like that. What's up? And I said by the end of the day, yeah, your cool economy around the space or something. So somewhere that's not my problem. Well, I don't know. I said I'm not a detective over there. I don't get paid to do the government job. I said the government has its own job to go off and do. That's not my job to figure out whether or not that's a sweatshop over there. I said this is going on about my first. So by the time I'm in the club over here, I don't know, the government try to go off and claim that because I'm in a strip club, I'm at the cleaners over here, it might be a sweatshop or something like that. I'm like, okay, let me leave this space over here. I'm gonna go to a different government. Like all time, I'm in like I don't know, I'm in Brazil over here just like chilling, and I'm seeing Miss Bunda over there just shaking her butt to like the carnival, and then I go back to my French territory like Guyana or like Martinique, and then which I got other chicks over here shaking their asses in front of me, or even like transgenders and so on. So by the time I'm down here, it's have another legal space. I don't know, somewhere my government, the U.S. government comes into and like tell me stuff about I should die, and then I try to like go off and like insert a needle. So on my arm over here without my consent, or my family consent, and they go off and like we'll go on a wild tirade about stuff that's related to like chicks shaking their ass in my face over here for money, which I don't force on me, nothing like that. I'm literally in the club over here, coming for a drink, and the chick comes to me and she's throwing her titties as beer with like implants, so right in my face. And I'm like, wow, are you okay? I said, are you sure you want to go off and like throw these titties in my face? She like, shut the fuck up, give me money. I said, give me. And yeah, and she took her hands on it. She took my hands on it. My hands are all up her titties and her ass with him. I said, somehow I'm raping her or something like that. That is one weird fantasy into my all fetishes for like feminists and so on. So somewhere by the time I'm done over there going like, yo, get away from me. Here's empty out my pocket. Here's my money over here. That's all I know. I give her a new skin complexion. It's called blue dollars on the space. And by the time I'm done, my pocket is empty. I'm broke. Yeah, the love ends right here. So now I'm going by my friends. I don't complain. Yeah, I felt a nice soft touch of like strawberry into my face over here. That was cold as like a skin. I remember it into all imprints. And then eventually I go on by my friends as a pervert. I sleep out to the night over here. What's up? And there's no problem. The club ain't got no problem. The females ain't got no problem. The police ain't got no problem. I know sometimes they come from the United States. They go back into their own special or something. I don't have nothing to do with the employees and the employees over here, special something. I'm going by my friends or something. So somehow, by the time I'm enjoying free titties, I'm not married, I'm single, I'm planning to go off and adopt kids and like build a multi-million-dollar company. I get the government over here, go off and like break inside my house, take my blueprints, take my stuff around the space, and then tell me like, give me your arm and try to stick a needle in there and try to kill me in the process. And then it goes off and publish that because of the fact that I stole the pool's money, I deserve the death penalty for a trial in the U.S. whereby I enrich itself on my ideas, on my technology, on my innovation, on my workshop, and then eventually somehow try to like, why I try to inject the needle in my arm over here. I tried to go off and do a research that I tried to sell. I think that's called assisted suicide. And why I tried to go off and get money for funds of like private companies that go off and do assisted suicide myself. So that's what I caught the government doing over here, and that's my valid argument and cause. What made the government feel that he had the right to go off and take my life without a fair trial underneath the Constitution of the United States over here myself? Yeah, you're in the wrong. You're gonna pay me more than that money out of your pocket, or it's gonna be like a small slice of employees. You're gonna discard us all. You'll be like, oops, we're gonna pay you that, employees, and you're like, oops, I'm sorry, we gotta pay Mr. Oliver because you tried to kill him and caught us on camera and so on. Yeah, there goes the people's money because of the fact that I'm the one over here that was like I don't know, the government leader over here that decided to go off and put this stuff in action. I take responsibility by going out to become poor and losing against Mr. Oliver inside my own system that I tried to like go off and like sell as like the absolute ultimate humanitarian system on earth over here myself. It's not trying to portray Mr. Oliver as the ultimate rapist that cannot get caught into my offense specifically. I'm like, how is a rapist going to bring a freaking stripper or a sex worker inside his space here? And then privately and embarrassingly ask the stripper, hey, are you being trafficked? Are you comfortable with that or something? Do you want to go on? Can you just take the money and leave if you're being trafficked or if you're a slave or something? And she's like, no, I won't get my freak on. And then I'm like, okay, that's consensual. I didn't ask to be light skinned and I have abs around the space and with curly hair that they like to go off and like touch. I put their finger to out of curiosity and then go off and like show me the techniques around the space. That was a choice into my offering specifically. I don't know why is it that I get punished for like I don't know. I was like, I don't know. Me no comprende. I said, yeah, government come down here on my level over here and talk to my public defender and then really make sure you got my money on the side. Cause I told you, yeah, the killing that happened like 2 days ago, I laugh at you in your fucking face every damn time. I saw. Because you work with these not this dude, but you work with some certain idiots that are on that level, and that was part of law enforcement, the veteran unit, with a whole bunch of ghetto ass people that assumed that this was like I don't know, lethal weapon 4 or like Fast and the Furious with the white friends. So all of a sudden they put the ghetto filled white dude that's washed up with the ghetto, I don't know, some black dude that went to prison, and then all of a sudden he heard fancy word like incarnation or like pineapple or stuff like that. And then all of a sudden he thought that he was like fancy bourgeois inside the white middle class society that long surpassed because of the fact that masculinity from the mathematics and engineering. That's way to problem solving. So I've solved more problems than some of the most of the white people especially that can solve problems into a piece of paper especially. So I'm a higher intelligent than most of them especially I navigate through. So somewhere that allowed me to go off and obtain a bigger piece of wealth than them. In this current century, where I make like I don't know, $120,000 after taxes, both on my retirement fund and both on my regular 9-to-5, where I don't only call it 9-to-5, I call it like a hobby and a passion. That's way to like maintaining parts for some of the system over here and going out to like deliver them. I maintain the equipment, the tools, and the system, and like the factory that I have to go off and like somewhat store the parts, testing the parts, and then go off and assemble them on a special. Acquiring some of these machines and then connecting them to electrical distribution system over here. Where I have to go off and drill to a house, and I go off and like do all the connections, all that stuff like that, and make sure that the specs meet of the transformer or like that's being delivered by the power company on the special. And then I'll go off and be like a concrete engineer, or like a wood engineer, or like an engineer that's to go off and drill 2 things. I spend time getting dirty just to make sure that my installation is clean and safe, and then eventually, by the time I'm done over here, I did a clean installation around the special, hundreds of hours to be done. That's why I get paid like 80 grand a year, because I get to repeat that like maybe 5,000 times a year around the special shop. And then here on top of my benefit, I get to make $120,000 a year after taxes, and then eventually that put me in a better foothold. Yeah, legally, without having the feds into my affairs. Yeah, wonder whether or not I pay my taxes, whether or not I'm selling drugs, they can't check me nothing. They're like, oh, that guy's like legally making his money around the special. And now that put me into a foothold where I go off and have like a $50,000 car, or maybe a $100,000 car. That's not a Corvette or something. Maybe, yeah, a nice luxury sedan or something like that. Yeah, like a Rolls Royce or something. So somewhere by the time I got my Rolls Royce on, especially with like a high mileage because it's hybrid or something. I don't know. Somewhere somebody goes off and they complain that I don't know. I'm middle class inside the U.S. I ain't got no kids and that I'm stealing money from the people. I'm talking shit over the internet. I'm participating with like sins on the special. I'm like, that's a cool ass story. Government come down here and pay me inside a car. So you're a fucking loser.